What's up, everybody? I'm Albie13. Okay, this is kind of exciting, although the visuals are going to be very basic. So I showed some of my work as far as I could get with my Python Nintendo Entertainment System emulator. Okay, my Python NES emulator. And so I was working with Gemini 3 Pro to try to figure out what was wrong with my NES emulator. Um, and I was able to have a breakthrough where I solved the graphical issues and I have optimized the emulator enough to where the game will actually play. And so when you marry good graphics together with actually being able to quote unquote play a game, I'm starting to get excited. As you can, that's explaining the excitement here. So here you're seeing my Python NES emulator running. It's very slow, which is why I started by prefacing this that that you're not going to see a lot of graphical stuff going on. I'm actually having difficulty starting the game right now because it's running so slow. And so if we look up here at the coin, you can kind of see how the game is chugging along at a very slow rate. Um, I did not mean to press start on two player mode, but it doesn't matter. So now you can see that the game is loading. Basically, the game is starting. So this is the first screen that you see. This is Super Mario Brothers, which is the classic easy game to try to run and stuff like that. I can't even believe that it's this good in terms of the graphics. Like everything is correct. Finally, the sprites show, right? And finally, I can get into the game, which I have never been able to do. I have been able to get to the title screen. It has gotten very slow, and there have been some clear errors. But the thing that I think that I'm trying to say is that AI is amazing, and the new intelligence level of AI, as you can see, the game is working, and indeed, Mario does move incredibly. Now, it is so slow, right? And you're seeing um, that. But what you're seeing is the game is working and running. I can't believe that Mario is jumping. It's kind of funny seeing the frames change. And so I didn't want to have this frame skip and try to make the emulator run like to keep up with the fact that it's slow. And conversely, I wanted the emulator to show every single frame and to function to run at more accuracy in terms of actually displaying all the frames and everything and not have screen tearing and things like that. So that's absolutely amazing. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and do another game. Another test bed for my emulator has been the Mega Man game, and we're loading that up. And now we can see that we're seeing again the graphics great. And I'm going to try to launch into the game here if possible. That should be the start button. I believe this. Let's see. So with the Mega Man game, we've had the the title screen has displayed well before, but I had graphical issues and glitches with the bosses. Okay, and here we can see I actually wanted to select Cutman. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into Cutman. Okay, so like actually, man, it's very slow. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to put up with how slow the game is. Try to select it here. Okay, you can see how slow the game is running. But what for me, it's just the fact that we don't have graphical glitches and stuff going on. So what I'm trying to do is I was trying to make Python run as fast as possible, and this became a technical question. How fast can Nintendo run in Python? I know that this is not absolutely the most efficient Python execution of Nintendo because we're still using software libraries to achieve this. But ultimately, this is satisfying for me to have my own emulator, which I didn't know if I would ever have one, but I do now, and a unique one. So we know that Nintendo emulators are coded in C, and they're coded in other things that are fast in terms of programming languages. But in Python, nobody really tries to create emulators because it's very, very slow and it's advised against. And I would, I get, I'm sure that it's kind of like universally. Some people have had this idea, but this is one of the few emulators that for Nintendo that run in Python. I want to see the stage. I want to see that beautiful stage once we get past the boss introduction. It's kind of incredible. It's so slow, and I do have an FPS counter that you can't see. It's on the title bar. The title bar is not showing on my screen capture software here, but it does say it's running at 1.94 frames per second. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, it seems accurate enough. Um, but yeah, basically, we have actually some of the sound is implemented, and I'm hearing some sound come through. I think it's pretty destroyed because of the fact that it's barely running. But I think what's happening is we're hearing some popping sound, basically some beginnings of audio playing. But what we do have, again, the graphics, the fact that the graphics are so good, when we look at emulator history for NES, a lot of them have trouble displaying the graphics all good. Um, and when they do have good graphics, they have other deficiencies. But this is pretty incredible in that regard. So we have that going on, and then we have the emulation of the Nintendo controller going on, and the emulation of obviously the cart reading the ROM information and all this kind of stuff. So this is the core functions of the emulator. I'm not sure if it's eventually. I mean, I know it's going, but are we gonna see the stage one day? I don't know. It's funny how you try to remember how the game plays. Finally, this is the first time I've ever seen the gameplay of Mega Man because of how slow it is, and it's incredible. It's incredible. I want to see Mega Man beam. Can you show me Mega Man beam in? And it says ready, and then it like flashes ready from my recollection. Incredible. It's kind of but these graphics are beautiful. The representation of the color palette and everything is perfect and spot on. And we have the resolution technically correct, which is showing at the correct ratio and everything. So, I mean, just the visual, uh, there's a bit of an awe effect. I always thought that the 8-bit graphics is beautiful, and these artists did so many wonderful things on NES. But here, it's like we're not on a Nintendo. We're playing this on the computer, yet we're representing the graphics faithfully. And it's interesting how there's a bit of the Nintendo was designed to work on a television screen, and there's some curvature to a normal old television, and the image is a little bit stretched, and a little bit of the ratio is changed too. And you can kind of like do stuff to make this display more faithfully on a flat panel LCD, computer monitor thing and all that. But we're just there it is finally. Here comes Mega Man. What a long intro. He's beaming in, everybody. it's kind of incredible seeing the actual animation in frames. Wow. Can he move yet? I think you can very quickly move. Oh, his foot moved. Amazing. Can we go? He took a step as he does. Can we fall off the block? He's in a full run, folks. Mega Man is touching down. Gravity simulation, folks. This is incredible. 1.71 frames per second, everybody. Thank you, Mega Man, for being completely useless. Okay, let's do one last game where we're going to end on. We're seeing the compatibility through the different ROMs. This is another beautiful thing. When you think about the compatibility and how emulators historically have a difficult time, you might play one game perfectly and other games don't play at all, let alone having issues. But here, finally, the famous one, we have Contra, one of my favorites from the old library. We are starting Contra, and you know what you're going to see when you start Contra? You're going to see the graphics come in from the side, just like that. Here comes the Contra logo. Thankfully, there's not much fanfare before the logo starts coming in. I always like it when a game shows you something when you power it on. But it's just pretty amazing. I've never seen this in completion. Only the beginnings of the logo coming into view through my testing, limited testing. So there it is. So that's the emulator. That's the video. I just got it to this state through the coding. Wish I can give you better stats. I don't have all the stats about the totality of the coding. The coding is done by segmenting each of the different parts of the emulator and everything's working together to allow for the emulation. It's really beautiful looking code, commented and organized as best I could. Since I was so interested in the Nintendo and achieving this project, I tried to keep it neat and tried to put everything logically and tried to explain a lot of the systems and what's going on with the Nintendo to achieve all this stuff. Now let's see if we can actually launch into this thing. I think I successfully pushed player one player. I would love to see the game too, but this is enough. I was going to end the recording, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure I played it because it's flashing. I guess it flashes for a while before it switches screens. But trying to see if I saw a graphical glitch or not. But no, but this is so solid. It's incredible. Um, this is my Nintendo emulator finally working. It's amazing how it clicked together. It was completely broken, hours ago. It was a black screen for the background or a blue screen for Mario. That's how bad it was. And at some point, I must have made a mistake with the code and I broke it. And so, uh, correcting that and then doing some optimization, some refactoring, as it's called in coding. Oh my God, is it ever going to show the game? It just keeps blinking. I don't remember it flashing a million times before the game starts. I guess it does flash a lot, but it's like, come on, get to the next thing. It's super slow, but I know it's gonna like begin to draw the background. You're gonna see like the classic background. Oh my God, is it gonna go? I want to end on showing the screen of the game. Damn you, go! But again, this is about the compatibility of a different game, different games, and I guess I could say that if I could just on the dream list of what could be, like if I could speed this up just a tiny bit. But I think that this always was going to be a technical demonstration of something that I could achieve, and I have achieved it in my opinion. From my perspective, you could keep trying to improve this, but it's reached its goal. And it's interesting to study now that I have a working emulator in Python. um, you could basically study the way that the code works and what each parts of the code does in relation to how it's trying to um, mimic the original system. All right, I don't know. I can't wait any longer on Contra, but I'll let this run and post it. Oh, as I say it, it finally switched screens. I don't know why it blinked a million times before. Now it has to blink the high score and all that stuff. It I this game is very popular, and it's really cool to see. So we're getting through this. I'm not meaning to string you along. We're in the jungle, so they tell us. Yes, it's a jungle indeed. So, yeah, show us the gameplay. But yeah, I think that I could trying to think, I'm not sure if I could get the sound to work just because of the slow frame rate. I'm not sure if I could get the sound to somehow produce correctly. I think that might be a bridge too far. I'm sure I could probably implement a little something with the controllers to enhance the inputs, but that's and here it is, and you see that class very cinematic for Nintendo. The scrolling effect, the black is there, and you almost don't really notice it that much. Um, but that is what shows you the scene. Interesting. It's not a fade in. The black doesn't come from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom, but it actually goes to the side and the side. Pretty interesting. And we have the blinking effect of spawning and everything. So there it is. Unbelievable. Thank you for checking it out. Make sure you subscribe to me for more awesome stuff. Like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. Give me a comment and show your love and support. And I'm out of here.